What if I told you? There's a laptop chip that doesn't need a fan. Barely heats up. Destroys heavy tasks like 4K editing. And still gives you 15 to 20 hours of battery life? Sounds impossible, right?
With our first chip designed specifically for the Mac. And we call it M1.
But that's exactly what happened when Apple introduced the M chips. Today, I'll tell you the story of how Apple silently changed the laptop world forever. For years, Apple used Intel processors in their MacBooks. They were powerful. But there was a problem. Heat. Battery drain. Performance drops. MacBooks would get hot. Fans would scream. Battery would disappear. So in 2020, during the pandemic, Apple made a bold move. They said goodbye to Intel and introduced their own chip, the Apple M1. People laughed at first. How can Apple compete with giant chip companies? But Apple wasn't starting from zero. They had been designing iPhone chips for over a decade. The secret weapon, unified architecture. Here's where things get interesting. Traditional laptops use separate components, CPU, GPU, RAM, other controllers, all separate pieces talking to each other. But Apple said, what if we combine everything into one? That's called System on a Chip, SoC. Inside the M chip, CPU, GPU, RAM, neural engine, media engine, all in one single chip. And the magic word? Unified memory. Instead of CPU and GPU having separate RAM, they share the same memory. That means, no copying data back and forth, faster performance, less power usage. It's like everyone working in the same room instead of shouting from different buildings. Here's another genius move. The M chips use two types of cores: high-performance cores, for heavy tasks, high-efficiency cores, for light tasks, when you're browsing YouTube. It uses efficiency cores. When you're editing 4K video in Final Cut Pro, it switches to performance cores. So it doesn't waste energy when it doesn't need to. That's why a MacBook Air can edit videos, export projects, stay cool, and still last all day on battery. No loud fans. No overheating. If you edit videos, this part is crazy. Apple added a dedicated media engine inside the chip. That means, video encoding and decoding is handled by special hardware, not the main CPU. So when exporting 4K or even 8K footage, it's insanely fast. That's why even creators using DaVinci Resolve were shocked by how smooth it ran on M1. And here's the scary part for competitors. This was just the beginning. After M1 came, Apple M2, Apple M3, each one more powerful. Each one more efficient. Windows laptops were powerful too. But most of them were built differently. Companies like Intel and AMD designed chips for many brands. Apple? They control everything: hardware, software, chip design, operating system. So Mac OS is perfectly optimized for M chips. It's like building the engine and the car together, instead of buying an engine from someone else. That tight integration is the real secret. Imagine two laptops, one with a powerful gaming processor, another with an M chip. The gaming laptop might win in raw power. But it heats up, fans get loud, battery dies fast. The Mac? Quiet, cool, stable, long battery life. It may not always win in extreme gaming. But for students, designers, editors, and daily users, it feels smoother. And that feeling is what makes people stay. It's not just power. It's not just battery. It's the balance. Performance plus efficiency plus optimization. Apple didn't try to win by being the strongest. They won by being the smartest. And that's why today, even Windows laptop companies are trying to copy this ARM-based approach. The M chip wasn't just a processor. It was a shift in the industry. So what do you think? Is Apple Silicon overrated? Or is it the future of laptops? Comment below, and if you enjoyed this storytelling tech breakdown,